Hi everyone, I'm Anika Ray. I'm a spiritual intuitive channeler. I'm also an Akashic Records reader, practitioner, and teacher. And in this video, I really want to do a brief collective reading, but also like an intuitive check-in. And I'm so glad that I'm back. I needed some space to recalibrate and some space to heal after a loss. So I hope that you understand, and I hope that you join me. I've actually changed the format slightly as I was guided. So we're gonna tap right in. The way that I connect is I'm surrounded by guides. Certain guides are certainly stepping forward to give us this collective reading. And there are generally guides that stay with me, angels. And if I sense anybody specifically, I will definitely disclose that. I will let you know. But the first thing that I'm getting as I was kind of tuning in and connecting to the guides for this reading is there is this sense of where we are and where we want to go, that there is sort of like a disconnect. There is a big gap that you feel where you actually want to be and where you are right now. And part of it is because of your own perception. Maybe in your own perception, you feel that there is certain lack of effort or things that maybe you have wanted to achieve, but you have not, or maybe things don't look like the same way that you have imagined it or wanting to manifest. And all of that, a lot of that is coming from your previous past, your journey as a human, your journey also as a soul. And that's why we open this reading, and I'm going to bring out some cards with this tarot cards of Seven of Swords. And this card of Seven of Swords really shows that there have been wounding in the past, and not just in childhood, but beyond that. For some of you, it's wounds that you're carrying from even family lineage. It has a lot to do with your ability. I know this is not a magician card, but it's your ability to create, co-create, and to manifest. And in some of your previous soul journey in a past life, this ability of manifestation was affected by you taking maybe a seat or a step back because you needed to support your family or to sort of like be in the background. And it created certain doubts, and then it reinforced by wounding in this lifetime. There is still this burden that maybe you're carrying, and you can relate of not trusting yourself to co-create in this reality, to be a part of the co-creative energy, to utilize manifestation tools, to utilize what's there for you. Now, it doesn't mean things will play out exactly the way that you want, but perhaps on some level you have, I guess, lost faith in yourself or in your manifesting, or in manifesting power. And in order for you to overcome this, this is really guiding you into self-acceptance, into accepting yourself fully. And that also means accepting your true desires and your true goals as a human. And in that aspect, if you accept that, that is the first step. The second step is understanding that there needs to be sort of like a big transformation. Part of that acceptance is transformation. And you step into that energy of transformation after that step of acceptance. For some of you, it may even be forgiveness, giving forgiveness, forgiving yourself. You may even have tools to do that. But anywhere where you are really sort of like rough towards yourself, hard on yourself, there needs to be a step back and offering you compassion. Now, one of the Ascended Masters that is showing up here for some of you is Mother Mary. And for some of you, the energy of Queen Yin is showing up very strongly. Also, any goddesses of fertility, whether in Egypt or in, you can Google this because this is coming to me intuitively, in Roman times, anything that has to do with fertility or abundance. This is the vibration you are bringing in, you're calling in. This is a part of that transformation. And remember, this is all about where you are right now and where you want to be. And that is validated by this, card of, death, which is the second card that I pulled for the tarot, which I was guided to intuitively. And this card is not that ominous card. It really is a card of leaving some things behind, transformation. And this is that inner transformation that comes through acceptance. In this card also, there are people, and I don't see this as people in your life. I also see this as aspects of you that have been hindering your progress. What the guides are bringing into my attention is whatever wounding that you've had, there is an opinion around it, almost like that you created, and I know that sounds really weird, it's not a persona, but an aspect of self that's wounded. A lot of you call that the inner child. This could be inner child. It could be an aspect of self that is still present in your energy, where you've had that wound lodged into your energy, and it's almost like fueling your beliefs, fueling this sort of like lack of faith in yourself. So this is part of that transformation. And this has come out in readings before. Now where you're heading is into that abundant state, the 10 of Pentacles. This is a lot, right? What a lot of you are seeking, looking for, and calling in is that abundance, or what you're wanting. It's like underlined. And, some of the things that are really stopping this abundance is what's leading us into the Oracle, which is that lack, feeling of loss or lack somewhere on your journey that was very prevalent. And this lack consciousness coming from a lot of these collective or ancestral patterns. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there were these lifetimes where you had to take a step back. You had to kind of immerse yourself into that lack. It's good to check where you're feeling a lack, specifically lack or loss of support. Is this support coming from, the outside or the divine? Have you lost your faith in the divine, your guide supporting you? Again, if this doesn't resonate, not everything will resonate, leave that. But it is also a part of where you're heading. And this abundance comes from the sacred purpose. It is that ancestral legacy. But it's the sacred purpose is really the key as to how this abundance comes to you. So, and abundance can be abundance of, like monetary abundance, but also abundance as a sense of well-being, fulfillment. It comes through your sacred mission. The sacred mission does not have to be a mission that you share with many people. It could be a particular soul's purpose that you really resonate with. This is going to be revealed as you start to accept yourself fully, right? This gets revealed as you fully say to yourself, I honor and accept myself. That doesn't mean you're lacking accountability, but it just means you are fully present to yourself. You're accepting the way things are. You're not surrendering, but you're accepting yourself. You're accepting that those ideas that you've had were best ideas, that whatever it is that you consider failures are really bumps in the road, right? Not to sugarcoat it, but just to know that, if you're holding yourself in contempt or judgment, you keep stuck. But as you accept yourself, more of you comes out, and that's also a part of what you enjoy, your soul's purpose, your sacred mission. For some of you, this may mean it's almost like a quest and seeking for that journey. It's a journey. Over here it says shamanic journey in this oracle card, but it's really about you journeying, your soul's journey, leading you to more revelations about yourself. Sometimes that will bring in a powerful teacher or a mentor. This doesn't have to be someone famous or infamous. It can be someone that you are familiar with, that you know, a friend that is on a journey of, personal development, spiritual growth, anything like that. Or it can be someone that is inspirational. Because what is really lacking at the foundation of this is sort of almost like inspiration, like hope, faith. And, this leads you to that journey that very much feels kind of like that shamanic journey, like exploring your shadow, honoring it in some way, going beyond it from transformation into abundance based on the purpose. And of course, there is this sense of your perception changing really through that communication. This oracle card says perception, but it is the perception of self. What is truthfully shifting in the story is the perception of self, is the perception of who you are, what you're here to do, how to attain that, and how to honor all the challenges that come as human conditions and as this journey that you're going through. One of the, guides and group of guides that show up, the light beings, is a council of light. And they're very much pointing, showing up in this reading and pointing into your heart. For all of these elements, the self-acceptance, the knowing self, transformation, going on a journey, it is, and where you want to go, it is the sense of presence of the divine within you, within your energy, within your heart, within your space, that there is no limitation, that you are putting these limitations onto yourself. It's almost like that. It's almost like a Venus trap for a lot of humans with these karmic patterns and limitations. But that when you truly honor and accept your own divinity, and they don't mean divinity in a vanity way, like I am God, I am presence in a sense of vanity, but in a sense of there is a divinity spark within you. When that opens your heart to removing these limitations. This is not about living life with ease and everything comes easily. It is that it shifts the perception of self and of the limitations itself. So it is, what is shifting is this deep perception of self, deep perception of life, of existence, of the human experience and human conditions. And these limitations can be anything, right? From limitations in, right, their perception limitations, essentially. But these are fueled by these old beliefs and patterns. And in nature, these are karmic patterns, which are repetitive patterns connected to the collective, connected to your soul group. Either way, a lot of you are really ready to step off of that karmic wheel, to address these limitations through shift in perception. And that is a journey and a quest of a human self as you're going through this ascension process. And it's not an event, it's a process. And in this ascension process, you really find yourself. You find yourself as the divine perceives you. You find yourself as you are being perceived as that divine, as a part of consciousness, as a part of oneness. And that unity consciousness, it's what's driving your soul to find that state of being. And this is that human journey that guides the soul into the state of being. You cannot experience this other than through the human self, because in a spiritual way, as a soul, it is easy to be in that state of presence. As a human, you are on a journey, in a process. And that's why sometimes it feels hard. Sometimes you don't trust or believe in yourself. Sometimes you step into that shadow space. Maybe even as a human, you believe in the perception as it's been given to you by others, or the perception of self that is limiting. But as you go through this quest and journey, you remove that. So I hope that some of these messages and collective reading resonated with you. I guess these are more of a spiritual messages rather than just a linear everyday thing. But I hope it has helped you. If in any way, like this video, share it with other people. It helps me put up more content. If you're interested in your own guidance, there's certainly that option. I offer individual readings. I offer these intuitive and channeled sessions, but I also offer Akashic Records, which are soul level readings. Either one is available to you. You will know which to choose because it will call you intuitively, and within yourself you'll know. I also teach and teach mostly about the Akashic Records, but eventually I will open myself up to teaching more as guided. Hopefully this was helpful to you, sending you lots of love and light from myself and all the guides that were here. One thing I want to leave you, as I always do, numerically, frequencies are important to help us on. If you are drawn to this, you may be drawn because you're drawn to frequencies. And right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of angelic numbers. 888, right? 888 is abundance, and it is about opening that path to abundance. I'm also seeing a life path number 1. So look that up if you are resonating with life path number 1. And number 9 as a spiritual protection number. So if you need to utilize some of these numbers, if that means something to you, if you are into frequencies, numerology, please utilize them. Number 9 is a number protection. You can write it down. You can imagine it being around you. It is a spiritual number of completion. That means that if you're feeling exhausted from this cycle and you feel looped in, just know that this is also a number of completion for this particular cycle, and that you needed to go through it and you needed to shift this perception. Love and light to all. I will see you next time.